Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. 21-year-old Spurs center Victor Wembanyama will miss the rest of the season with deep vein thrombosis, a type of blood clot in his right shoulder. ESPN's Shams Charania.
They've been running tests over the last 48 hours, ever since Wembanyama returned from San Francisco, when clearly there were signs of a potential issue in that shoulder. And they were running tests over the last couple days, and they found really yesterday and into today this diagnosis.
Shams Charania. For the second time in less than a week, it's the U.S. and Canada. This time it's for the Four Nations Face-Off title, the game at 8 Eastern on ESPN. The Yankees agree to a 2-year contract extension with manager Aaron Boone. His deal will now run through 2027. Boone has taken the team to the postseason in 6 of his first 7 years on the job. Offensive lineman John Feliciano announces his retirement today, but he'd be willing to help a team out late in the upcoming season. He spent all of last season on IR with the 49ers after knee surgery.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. The Bears and the Pats both have new head coaches, but which one is poised to have success in their first year? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekdays at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, concierge nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Kendall Rogers coming up in hour number 3 along with Ross Dellinger. Cam Carter, LSU guard, will be here in 90 minutes. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, if the worst-kept secret around the New Orleans Saints was that Kellen Moore was going to become the head coach, the next worst-kept secret would be that Doug Nussmeier would be joining him in New Orleans as the team's offensive coordinator, and that appears like it is about to happen. Early on Thursday, Nick Underhill was the first to report that the team has finalized a deal with Doug Nussmeier to make him their new offensive coordinator there under Kellen Moore. So now with your special teams coordinator, offensive coordinator in place, the only coordinator left to name will be the defensive coordinator, which we are anticipating will be Brandon Staley, but we'll have that news when we do. The Doug Nussmeier piece, it's no surprise, and I like it because of the familiarity with Kellen Moore, like we've discussed. Doug Nussmeier came into the NFL as a coach with Dallas in 2018, where he was the tight ends coach in 2018, 2019. He was then promoted to quarterbacks coach in 2020 through 2022. There with Kellen Moore as the OC. And then when Kellen Moore went to the Chargers in 2023, Nussmeier went with him. When Kellen Moore went to the Eagles in 2024, Nussmeier went with him as the quarterbacks coach. So these two have coached alongside each other every year since 2018. And it is that familiarity, I think that's probably the most appealing thing here. When Kellen Moore was introduced a week ago today, one of the things he talked about was using past relationships to build a staff.
There's tremendous value for experience when you've worked with someone, just for continuity's sake. But I think the blessing and wonderful thing that you learn is as you go through this journey, going to Los Angeles, going to Philly, there's a lot of coaches that if I just stuck in Dallas, I would have never met, would have never got to team up with. And so you understand that as you go through this process, you're going to have an opportunity to meet and team up with coaches that maybe you haven't done it with. And they're going to be really special, and they're going to have a huge impact on us.
And there's likely going to be more coaches that he's familiar with that join the staff, like we mentioned, Brandon Staley. But I decided today to kind of dig deep a little into Doug Nussmeier's background as an offensive coordinator. And this conversation we're about to have is going to come with an asterisk because Kellen Moore is still going to call the plays. He said that as well in his opening press conference, and that's what we all anticipate is going to happen. So while, yes, Nussmeier will be the offensive coordinator, he will work hand in hand with Kellen Moore. It is still going to be Kellen Moore's team, Kellen Moore's offense, Kellen Moore calling plays. But if we go back and look at Doug Nussmeier's experience as an offensive coordinator, quite honestly, it's not very good. If we're just calling a spade here. Doug Nussmeier has never been an OC in the NFL, and he was an offensive coordinator in college every year from 2008 through 2017. In 2008 at Fresno State, the Bulldogs finished 37th in total offense. Next year, he goes to Washington. He's the Washington OC for 3 years, 2009, 10, and 11. By the way, the 2009 offense faced LSU. Remember that game up in Seattle? Their offenses in 3 years went from 70th to 96th, then to 25th in 2011. He goes to Alabama in 12 and 13. We know Alabama won the national championship in 2012, and they finished 12th and 17th in the country in total offense. That was by far the high water mark for Doug Nussmeier as an OC. After 2013, he goes to Michigan for one season. They were 112th in the country in total offense. Gone. Then he goes to Florida for 3 years, 2015, 16, and 17. All 3 years, they were in the triple digits in total offense. 100th, 107, 109. They got worse each year. So from 2008 to 2017, 10 years, 10 consecutive seasons that Doug Nussmeier was an offensive coordinator. 4 of the 10 years, they finished 100. His offenses were 100th or worse. And he also had offenses finishing 70th and 96th. So 6 of the 10, they were in the bottom half of the country. The 2 best years he had with Alabama, which, candidly, under Nick Saban, I could probably have gone call plays, and we'd have been pretty good. It's not to say Doug Nussmeier is a bad offensive coordinator. I don't mean to say that. I'm just laying out there all the info and the data points so we have it. He was an offensive coordinator for 10 years in college football, and it wasn't great. But he got a lot of big-time jobs. From that point on, he became an NFL position coach, coaching tight ends with the Cowboys for 2 years, then quarterbacks, which he's coached for the last 4 years, and now an offensive coordinator in the NFL for the first time. So, look, there's a lot to like about this hire. And I've expressed it. Like, I'm good with this hire because it is still Kellen Moore's offense. Kellen Moore is going to call plays. It's his offense. So what I really want is someone around Kellen Moore who he's comfortable with that's going to help nurture and develop ideas and support and all those sorts of things. Someone whose eyes and mind he trusts. Not that dissimilar from old Sneaky Pete. I mean, Sean Payton, it was his offense. Pete Carmichael was the OC and was a really good ally for Sean Payton. It feels very similar here with Nussmeier as an ally to Kellen Moore, a trusted lieutenant. And when you look at the offensive staff, at least the top of it right now, Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier, Scott Tolzien, head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. All 3 were NFL quarterbacks that didn't have great NFL careers, but all 3 were NFL quarterbacks. So you've got a lot of experience, NFL experience, quarterback experience, and synergies among a staff where these guys know each other pretty well. I like that. I also like, and this is ancillary, I don't think this matters tremendously, but I do like that Doug Nussmeier has ties to New Orleans and to Louisiana. We know that he was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in 1994, played quarterback for the Saints. He met his wife, Christy, when he lived here. She is from Lake Charles. Garrett, as we know, was born in Lake Charles. So you have a lot of synergies that make sense here with this hire, both with Kellen Moore's relationship with Doug Nussmeier's relationship and familiarity with the organization, the city, the state, a lot of those ties there. And as we'll continue to say, though, your head coach and your staff are a part of the equation. They're a big part of the equation. But the bigger part for the New Orleans Saints moving forward is less about Kellen Moore or Doug Nussmeier or Scott Tolzien or Brandon Staley, any of that. It's going to be about this front office pushing the reset button on the roster, getting your cap in order, acquiring draft capital, respecting your draft capital instead of constantly trading up, expending future draft capital to be aggressive to go get a player that you think is going to help you win now. The sooner this organization realizes they're not close to winning and they're willing to be patient to go through a rebuild and build this thing brick by brick, the sooner they acknowledge that, the sooner the Saints are going to get back to being a competitive team. And I hope that's under Kellen Moore with this staff as it's assembled. And I hope it's sooner than later. But while I like the Doug Nussmeier hire, and I think it makes a lot of sense, there are reasons to question it. He's never been an NFL OC. And when he was a college OC for 10 years, it wasn't great. But as an asset, a resource, an ally, a sounding board for Kellen Moore, I like it a lot. What I got to see, though, is changes in the roster. Changes in the roster, patience with this staff to rebuild it as you rebuild your roster. But that's more on Mickey Loomis and this front office than it is on Kellen Moore or Doug Nussmeier. But Saints have their OC. It's Doug Nussmeier. Wait for the official announcement from New Orleans, but apparently it is done. Doug Nussmeier will be the Saints offensive coordinator as expected. All right, it's after further review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, and the official beer of the big man on the cul-de-sac. Cool sweepstakes that our friends over at Mockler Beverage have going on right now. You can learn more how you can win these great prizes. The big man on the cul-de-sac prize pack is pretty awesome. It is a Traeger grill. It's the grill set, so the grilling tools. You'll also get an apron and the leaf blower, which in the commercial is the Bud Light launch. You've seen the commercial with Shane Gillis and Peyton, the Super Bowl commercial with Shane Gillis, Peyton Manning, Post Malone, where they're sitting on the cul-de-sac. So post your pictures on social media, tag Mockler Beverage, use the hashtag BMOC, and you could win the big man on the cul-de-sac sweepstakes courtesy of Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Tigers were supposed to play yesterday. That game got postponed, baseball, because of the freezing temps. So Jay Johnson met with reporters today to preview what now is an extended weekend as the Tigers will play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they'll play Nichols in Baton Rouge on Monday before making the return trip to Thibodaux down in April. April the 8th, I believe is the date. So we'll let you hear what Jay Johnson had to say previewing an extended weekend when we return here on AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. 2 different ways you can do it. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Or you can always call 888-8888. Perhaps you prefer to speak to someone on the phone. You can always do that. Call the number 888-8888. You'll always get a living, breathing human there that you can talk to that'll help direct you to the place you got to go. And it doesn't matter where you are in Louisiana. Remember, if you've been injured, you don't have to drive to a different city to find your legal representation. That's why Gordon has offices all over the state of Louisiana. So it really doesn't matter where you are in Louisiana. If you've been injured, get Gordon and get it done. Again, go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or call 888-8888. That's 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Check out Gordon Gives as well to see all their philanthropy. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Need service now? Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you same-day appointments for service, and we offer pickup and delivery of your vehicle from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. If you need sales and service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable. And
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Was Gavin going to throw whenever?
Yeah, he was going to pitch yesterday.
So he'll go Monday then?
Not necessarily. Yeah, it would just kind of go back to taking it one at a time.
Did he throw like a longer bullpen yesterday just to keep his arm loose?
He definitely did what he needed to do yesterday to be prepared for the weekend.
All right, Jay Johnson with a little back and forth there on Gavin Guidry, who we've yet to see pitch. He was, as you heard him say, was going to pitch against Nichols. That game got postponed because of the weather. And so we still haven't seen Guidry. I love when sometimes synergies in life happen. I looked down at my phone. Doug Thompson texted me. I was like, hey, I've got an LSU baseball segment right now. I'd just rather talk to you. You want to come on? He's like, now? Like this minute? Like, yeah, like right now. So he's like, sure, here we go. Duggar in the car joining us. Duggar, how are you, man?
And we saw each other earlier today.
I know.
It was serendipitous, to say the least.
I know. I love serendipity in life. The movie I don't like. Have you ever seen the movie Serendipity?
No, I don't dig the movie. And
wait,
I'm with you there. But
have you seen the movie?
I've seen bits and pieces of the movie. It's the ice cream shop in New York, right? Is something about that?
Yeah.
In that part of the movie? Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
So two things.
Put it this way. I like the ice cream shop in New York better than I like the movie because I've done both, and the ice cream shop's way cooler.
Okay, two things. Number one, the ice cream shop is horribly overpriced. Like I would not recommend it to. I would not recommend it to anybody. And they even sat.
Bro, what in New York City is not horribly overpriced?
Fair, but I'm good. Yeah. I'm good buying an overpriced steak at Gallagher's. I'm not good buying sitting down. This happened, Duggar, last spring when Eric and I were in New York City, and we'd been to Serendipity before, but we were in there. We went to Broadway show, and she's like, "Hey, you want to go get ice cream?" I was like, "No, but okay." And so we went there, and we were there for like 30 minutes. And by the way, they sat us at the table that Beckinsale and what's the guy's name? Cusack sit in the movie, like right in front of the fire. We sat at their table.
Yeah.
We were there for 30 minutes. The bill was like $110. Dessert for 2 people. Like, no thanks.
Yeah.
I don't ever need to do that again. But here's the other thing about the movie, Duggar. Erica, who you know and is lovely, thinks it's like this rom-com love story. I'm like, yeah, or it's 2 people that are engaged that are running around behind their fiance's back chasing this other person the whole time. I'm like, that's not cool at all. I actually hate that movie. I think it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. All right, we'll move on and talk baseball. So Gavin Guidry didn't pitch over the weekend. Walk me through your thought here about, because, Doug, I don't know if you know, my assumption has been, I've said it, that they were going to start him yesterday. Jay didn't confirm that, but he was going to pitch. So what do you do with Gavin Guidry now that you've gone through 4 games and he still hasn't pitched?
Well, I mean, depending on the situation, I think he'd be first up. I mean, in the next opportunity, it seems like his time to get in there. And you know, look, there's going to be plenty of innings available for Gavin Guidry this year. His experience alone makes him one of the most valuable pitchers on the staff. So I don't see any big problems there. And I think it's simply like one of the next opportunities that he gets to put him in is what I would expect.
So you were a pitcher. Walk me through right now where you have so many arms, but only so many innings. How are Jay Johnson and Nate Yeskie balancing getting everybody work?
Well, so far they've done a pretty good job of it, but really it's about, like, how do you sustain getting this many guys looks? You're not going to be leading by 10 every game, and there's going to be some situational things coming up. But to be honest with you, yeah, I was a pitcher, but I never was on a staff like this where there was literally 8, 9, 10 options of guys that were 95 plus miles an hour. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's one of the more, delicate pieces they'll have to handle because, of course, with a staff this talented, you certainly want most of them to return and not go into the free agency world, which is NIL and the portal today. So, yeah, Matt, that's a great point, and it's a tough challenge for Jay Johnson. It's an abundance of riches, but how do you spread out those innings to make sure that everybody's pleased and happy and ready to return?
Was there somebody so 8 guys hit 95 or higher this weekend?
Over the weekend.
Yeah. Was there somebody, it doesn't have to be one of those guys, by the way, but it's just, the point is there were a lot of impressive performances to choose from. Was there someone that for one reason or another stood out above the others to you?
Well, stood out above the others. Evans and Rizzi. Evans was kind of, he was as dominant and as you could be in college. I mean, he's up to 98 miles an hour, I believe. But the Rizzi kid, I mean, I have no idea how he ended up in college. I mean, he's, although, kids come up with a number, the teams don't want that number, and now he's at college, and that's kind of what happened with Rizzi. 6'9", gets up to 98, 99 miles an hour with, a bunch of sink on a fastball, and then of course, our guy here, William Schmidt from Catholic High, same deal. Kid would have been a first rounder, and but he ends up in this pitching staff where, thank goodness for him, there really isn't a ton of pressure like there would be in years past, where you really need an arm like that to be able to produce right now as a freshman. But the truth is, with all due respect to William Schmidt, because he is an absolute stud, he's just kind of one of the guys coming out of that bullpen. As hard to believe as that is, there's some thunder coming out of that bullpen, and it is suffocating, man. I mean, for the opposing hitters for every pitcher to come in and they look up on the scoreboard and see another 95 or 97, that's really tough to deal with at the college level. It's tough to deal with at the major league level, so an abundance of riches. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see how he spreads out the innings once the scores start to presumably get a little closer than they have been.
Jacob Myers told us earlier this week that Jay Johnson calls all those guys one-inning assassins. I love that, by the way. But do you think that is
another guy, Myers?
Yeah,
Myers
right.
was wow.
Do you think that approach is something that can sustain through conference play, where it's just hand it to the next guy throwing 95 and just go an inning at a time like that?
It works at the major league level, and the reason it works is because the next guy who's 95, instead of a sinker, throws a cutter, and then the next guy who's 97 throws a changeup instead of a curveball, and that's kind of what they've got out there. Jamie Tutko and those guys with all the technology now, Yeski and Tutko together, it's dangerous. Look, Matt, they all have 4 pitches. All of them have 4 pitches. When I played for Skip Bertman, to put it in context, I threw 2 changeups in however many innings, 230-something, 240, whatever I ended up pitching for Coach Bertman. I threw 2 changeups. The rest were four-seam fastballs and overhand curveballs. But we didn't have the big screen behind us in the bullpen to say, wait, do that again? What did you just do? Because when you did that, it became, better than average major league spin or rotation or whatever the metric would be. We just tried something. If it didn't really work or look good, then we just, kind of forgot about it. Anyway, so to be able to get those type of arms, sliders and change-ups and cutters by making these little tweaks and adjustments that you're verifying with real, data about the actual pitch. It's just really crazy, man. Every single kid that comes in, he's 96 to 98 with a curveball, slider, cutter, and a changeup. It's like, goodness gracious. It's just really special so far. And look, I know it's early, and I don't think it's probably appropriate right now to talk about the offense because we just don't really know. And maybe 53 strikeouts or 52 strikeouts and 3 walks is a lot. But we haven't really faced SEC caliber lineups yet. But 52 strikeouts and 3 walks, regardless of who you're pitching against, indicates that you're going to attack the strike zone and throw strikes. Good hitters and bad hitters draw walks, right? So it's the 3 walks for me that really jumps out of all of the things they've done so far with those type of power arms and new faces and kids that you would assume are dealing with nerves and all those things. Like, it blew my mind that no one had that one inning where they just couldn't find a strike zone for a batter or 2. We've seen 12 guys now or whatever it's been, and the 3 walks, Matt, that really jumps off the page to me.
Doug Thompson, former Tiger great, of course, now on the LSU Sports Radio Network. You hear Doug and the voice of Tigers, Chris Blair, on the call. But this weekend with Chris on basketball, we got to hear Doug and the Buzzard up there in the booth. Y'all sound great. Great to hear you guys.
Show. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Are you okay with them postponing the game because of the cold weather?
Well, look, I think that there's certain cold that you can play in above 35, 40 degrees. I think that's fine. But, dude, last night it was getting down to the 20s.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the kids, that's miserable for the kids and the adult and the coaches. But, dude, no fans want to go to that. And that game at Nichols deserves to be rocking, and they need to have the field packed and the tailgating and all the things. And when you talk about less than sub-30 degree weather, it kind of takes away from that. So I really, truthfully, and I was going to drive down there, I had no problem with them canceling it. And, bro, there's such a thing as there's just a certain level of cold that it gets to. Baseball's just not any fun to play in that. And if they can reschedule it to another date, then my thoughts are why not?
Yeah, agreed. I'm more thinking just from also the cold standpoint with early in the season pitchers trying to get hot. Can you get? Is there a risk to injury because it's so cold? That was absolutely the right decision not to play that game. I'm glad.
All of those things. If it's 45 degrees, let's play ball maybe. But dude, down past 30, nobody should be out there trying to play baseball. To your point, this early in the season.
Doug Thompson, hey man, before you go, I know Tigers have a 3-game series. Actually, I guess it'll be a 4-game series now. 3 against Omaha, then they'll play Monday against Nichols.
Right.
Give me something that you'd like to see from this team or a person offensively this weekend.
I'm searching for the guy or two that's going to help Jared Jones not see SEC record sliders this year, which means I want to see a guy hit the ball out of the ballpark maybe a couple times this year that's not named Jared Jones. I mean, if I'm being picky and you're asking me what I want to see,
yeah.
I love what the lineup looked like. I want to see Josh Pearson get more opportunities. I want to see John Pearson get some more plate appearances because I think he could, sneakily be one of those guys that can sneak out 10 or 12 home runs. I love what Ashton Larson's doing. So the thing is, there's an issue there, too, that's kind of similar to what you brought up with the pitchers, right? Like, he really does have 12, 13, 14 kids. Tanner Reeves is a great player. That he needs to get opportunity. Ethan Fry, almost ripped the foul pole down the other day. He's got some serious juice. So I want to see those other players after the top 7 or 8 continue to get the opportunities. And then, honestly, if I'm going to be real picky, another weekend with single-digit walks would kind of solidify this feeling of this pitching staff is a special one.
He's Doug Thompson, former Tiger great. You hear him on the LSU Sports Radio Network. You can get him at DT9 Tigers on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it over there. And let the record show, not a fan of the movie or the ice cream shop Serendipity. And I'm right there with you.
Nope, I'm with you, bro.
We appreciate it.
10-4.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
You do the same. Doug Thompson. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Supper Club. You know what is absolutely worth it? Supper Club. The experience itself is incredible. From the moment you walk in, you know you're walking into a vibe. The completely blacked out, dark entrance with the fluorescent Supper Club light on the wall. You turn and walk into the host stand. You see the floor-to-ceiling art, the fun, creative carpet that they had imported from Holland, all the bead art, floor-to-ceiling bead art in the walls. It's incredible. I mean, everything about Supper Club, it just screams Vegas, New York, San Francisco, LA. It's a vibe. It's about bringing an experience that you could only have in some of the biggest, most extravagant food cities in the world right here to Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. My goodness, the menu. If it's the short rib burn end for the starters, which I love. You got the king crab bisque. If you're into soups. We could talk about the steaks forever, but they've got Ora King salmon. The thing that I tell you all the time about, the veal parm. Like, I dream about the veal parm. With the marinara and the melted mozzarella that they come lay on top the veal chop table side. So everything. The presentation, the experience at Supper Club and the food. My goodness. Perfect. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, we're not going to break. Kendall Rogers will be here in 45 minutes. We'll kind of talk big picture SEC going into this weekend. And Ross Dellenger is going to be here in hour number 3. Delly's actually was in New Orleans yesterday. The SEC and Big Ten had meetings in New Orleans. I understand he rode through Baton Rouge today working on some stuff. So we'll catch up with Delly in hour number 3. Looking forward to that. Let me not got a break. We'll come back, go around the SEC. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Brought to you by Duplessis Builders. Check them out at duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. On a day like this, when I woke up and the wind chill was 14 degrees, you know what it's got me thinking of? Pool season. How it's not far away and how excited I'm going to be that every day, when I get home, the first thing I do after I kiss Erica and Drew hello, maybe throw a little grub in my mouth, put on the swimsuit, go get in the pool. Perfect. Maybe crack open a beer. Perfect way to end a long day of work. Weekends in the outdoor kitchen, pool parties, tons of fun. That can be your reality as well. And Duplessis Builders can make it happen. If you're interested in a pool, outdoor kitchen, maybe you need to update or modernize or renovate your current pool. They can do that as well. Check them out online at duplessisbuilders.net.
Need service now? Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you same-day appointments for service, and we offer pickup and delivery of your vehicle from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. If you need sales and service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
TV ratings are in for the NBA All-Star Game. Got 4.7 million viewers. That was the same number that the NFL's Flag Football Pro Bowl got last month, 4.7 million. So there's the phrase about like how you could spin a story however you want, and there's truth to that, however you want to present it. So, for example, the 4.7 million viewers for the NFL Flag Football Pro Bowl was an 18% drop and an all-time low audience for the post-Pro Bowl, right? So not as we used to see the Pro Bowl game. The 18% down from a year ago and the lowest that we've seen in this format. Okay. The NBA was a 13% drop from a year ago, but actually 3% higher over the record low, which was 2 years ago. So these events are flailing relative to their history. So as I said, there's ways to spin it. You could look at it that way and go, these are historically low numbers, one. The other hand, you look and you go, they drew 4.7 million. For context, on Monday, The Bachelor on ABC drew 2.53 million. NCIS got 2.96 million. So primetime shows on the networks failing to get to 3 million people. But these all-star games are effectively doubling those ratings. So that's still, in context of anything else on TV that's not the NFL, those are still massive numbers. Now, tonight, the Four Nations game with the U.S. and Canada, they're going to play that. We'll see what it gets. The game in Canada over the weekend on Saturday got a 4-4, got 4.4 million viewers. It outdrew the NBA slam dunk contest and all that stuff, which was 3.4 million. That is an all-time high for that game. So you've got NFL Flag Football Pro Bowl, NBA All-Star Game, NHL Four Nations, all around the same TV number. all in the mid to high fours, millions. For baseball and basketball, those are historically low, so we turn our nose on it. For NHL, it's a great number relative to what they normally do, so you go, oh, you praise it. The bottom line is the numbers are the numbers. And they're never going away, because as long as you're putting a product on television where more than 4 million people are watching it, you can sell that, which is why it's never going away, which is why people who say, oh, they should just stop doing the flag football thing in the NBA. They're never doing that. They're never going to get rid of it altogether. They're going to continue to find ways to put something on television because damn near 5 million people watch it. And you can sell that, and you can make money, which is the objective, as we know, by expansion of the regular season, expansion of the playoffs, playing games on Christmas Day because you could sell it to Netflix. I mean, it's all about how do we drive revenue. And you're not going to get rid of something that makes money. So those games are not going anywhere. I still think, though, the only way you'll ever get the numbers back to where they were is to incentivize those players to be competitive. Like, if the NBA All-Star Game, instead of becoming a game with absolutely no defense and guys are just jacking up shots, like if they actually D up and play the game hard, that could be amazing. I mean, the NBA All-Star Games, when I was younger, were incredible. I mean, God, who would forget when Magic Johnson had his HIV diagnosis and he played in the All-Star Game, was the MVP? I mean, that was amazing theater. And you can do that, again, but you just got to have the players commit to playing hard. How do you do that? You got to incentivize them, financially or otherwise. But that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, they're just going to – LeBron's going to show up the day of the game and wear street clothes out during introductions. I mean – but it's not going anywhere because there's enough people that still watch that they can sell it and make money. But if you really want to maximize it, you got to incentivize the players. It's literally the only way that it'll happen. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. As always, our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Of course, Blasia, who's the founder, CEO, we had a personal connection with my family with Blasia. She was a CV nurse when Drew was a baby. We took him home from the hospital, and when we were going for CV checkups, Blaise always took great care of us. So I think the world of her. She's assembled an amazing staff of nurses. If you need nursing care in your home, even at the hospital, or anything in between, they can help. Maybe you've gotten a life-threatening diagnosis and you need in-home care. Maybe it's end-of-life care. Maybe you got a newborn at home and you need nursing help. Decision Critical is there for you. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. to schedule that consultation where they'll talk to you on the phone. They'll come sit down with you face-to-face, explore whatever your needs are. At Decision Critical, it's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Texas Longhorns.
All right, a twofer, a Texas two-step, you might say. Texas is canceling its spring game. Steve Sarkisian made that announcement on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams today. Latest to forego a spring game. USC announced their decision to do the same. Nebraska opted out last month. It's part because when you look at portal and everything like that, they just don't have the numbers to have a spring game, and also worry about tampering and roster management, things like that. But Texas will not play a spring game. Also, Texas set to hire West Virginia's Chad Scott as its next running backs coach. He was the offensive coordinator for the previous 2 seasons before being retained by Rich Rodriguez.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Former NFL assistant has rejoined Kalen DeBoer as an analyst at Alabama. Tyler Hughes, who was a former Patriots wide receiver coach, is now headed to Tuscaloosa. He was an analyst for Washington in 2023 before going to the Patriots in 2024, now rejoining Kalen DeBoer in Tuscaloosa. Of course, the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo after 1 season, so Hughes was out of a job. Now his old boss is his new boss.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
2 Tennessee coaches who were on expiring contracts have gotten new deals and extensions. Secondary coach Willie Martinez, he's finalized his 2-year extension, and the director of competition and development, Kurt Schmidt, will remain in his role at Tennessee as their strength coach after signing a 1-year extension. Neither, however, received a raise.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And Eli Jerzembeck, will miss the season for South Carolina. Paul Maneri revealed the decision on the South Carolina pitcher. The righty, they knew they were going to be without him for the season opening series, and now Maneri confirms that Jersenbeck is done for the year. Had problems with his elbow. He'll undergo surgery in March. Stress fracture in that elbow. Problem turned up about a week ago. He is perceived to be a big-time prospect. Missed all of 24 and part of 23 after having Tommy John. Now another injury for the right-handed pitcher. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows. Beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well over at Relief Windows, and there's just nobody better. You're going to pay more. I tell you that every day, and I'm transparent about that. If you're calling companies to get quotes to find out who's going to be the cheapest, don't call Relief Windows because they will never be the cheapest. They can't be. They offer a premium product. They pay their people great wages to retain the best people, and they offer a true lifetime transferable warranty. It's Relief Windows. You install once with Relief Windows, you're done forever. That's what they mean by a true lifetime transferable warranty. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. In 15 minutes, I want to give you an update on Trey Holly, the LSU running back. I know a lot of people have asked about this. Well, Trey Holly had the latest update in his legal proceedings. So we'll get you an update on that in about 15 minutes after the top of the hour. We will also, 5 o'clock, straight up hour number 3, we'll talk to Kendall Rogers, some D1 baseball. Ross Dellinger will be here in hour 3 as well. Cam Carter, LSU guard, in 45 minutes. We're loaded. Ton to do, and glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance, Southtown on Bluebonnet. The Watermark Hotel, of course, gorgeous, Baton Rouge's original high-rise building, the original Louisiana National Bank building that I tell you about all the time. Y'all, we're getting toward the weekend. It's Thursday. You know that. You got a calendar. Well, a lot of people love to do brunch over the weekend. If you've never done brunch at the Gregory inside the Watermark Hotel, could not recommend it highly enough. One of our co-workers here, Scotty Mack, for his anniversary, he and his lovely wife went to the Watermark Hotel, the Gregory, for brunch, and he raved about it. Couldn't believe the quality, the service, even the price, how affordable it was. You could take the whole family. Sunday brunch or brunch any day at the Watermark Hotel is a great option. If you're worried about parking, no worries. When you're eating at the Gregory, be it for brunch or dinner, whenever you go, complimentary valet parking at the Watermark Hotel when you're eating at the Gregory. So check it out today, downtown on 3rd Street. It's the Watermark Hotel.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-11.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Wrapping up hour number one. If you missed it earlier, hat tip Nick Underhill, New Orleans football reported the Saints have gotten it done with Doug Nussmeier. He will be the team's offensive coordinator. So now turn your attention next week to the start of the NFL Combine, and then it'll be pro days. And before you know it, the draft will be here. And there was a report today where Shedeur Sanders says he's not going to attend the NFL draft in Green Bay, a guy who could potentially be the number one overall pick. And that's kind of becoming seemingly a little more of a common occurrence with guys choosing not to attend the NFL draft. Dion, by the way, spoke. I'm going to credit this audio. It was, where was it? Sirius XM, is that right?
Sirius XM.
So Sirius XM NFL Radio. Here was Dion on Shedeur's decision and the advice he's giving him here with the draft.
You and Shedeur are going to have the opportunity to share something, being a top five, possibly a top two pick.
He wants to outdo me.
Right. So what is your advice to him going into this process?
I told him, first of all, don't believe nothing they say, because people are going to criticize you so you can fall to them. So don't believe none of that. It's positioning right now. But he's speaking to the guys that make the moves, so he's not listening to the media. Like, he's speaking to head coaches, GMs, and all that of the first three teams, pretty much. Yeah. Because that's where we think he's going to land, somewhere in there. But my advice to him is just embrace the moment. Yeah. But he's so poised and polished. He really he get it, man. Like, Shedeur, he been riding with me for a long time, so he really get it.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe the most telling thing that Dion said there is that they're thinking Shedeur is going to go in the top three picks. And we know that the NFL is very much a quarterback-driven league, right? That's no secret. We all know it. And teams sometimes reach for quarterbacks because there's a necessity there, right? You can't win without a quarterback, so a lot of times. I mean, this was a league where we saw Christian Ponder as a first-round draft pick, and E.J. Manuel as a first-round draft pick, where Mitchell Trubisky went 2 overall, Zach Wilson went 2 overall. So teams reach. That it happens. But there's also times where you see teams in thin quarterback years not grab that player. Like, for example, the Kenny Pickett draft. This was 2022, the 2022 draft. Kenny Pickett was the first quarterback taken at 20 overall to Pittsburgh. So it'll be fascinating to see what the teams think about this quarterback class. And all that to say, if the guys at the top, if the teams at the top of this draft aren't bullish on one of these guys, are the Saints sitting there at 9 with the opportunity maybe to take Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, someone like that? It's unlikely. But what if you have that decision to make if you're sitting there at 9 and they are on the board? By the way, Louis Riddick was on First Take, and just one man's opinion, but this is a guy who worked in NFL front offices, and said he would take Cam Ward first overall this year.
Verbally. And before Stevie, if you were Tennessee or Cleveland, you'd make him the first pick?
Over Shedeur?
Right now I have Cam number 1.
Wow. And if you were Tennessee that needs a quarterback, you would run
If I was picking right now, and I've talked to all these guys, and look, everybody, and everybody knows how much I love Deion Sanders, and that is my guy. And he has supported me from the time we were players to now.
You're going to take Ward first?
I would objectively take Cam Ward first.
It's interesting. I wouldn't. I'm not a NFL GM front office guy like Riddick was at one point in his career. And it goes to show you how you're going to have varying opinions on this. But, I mean, Cam Ward bounced around a bunch. Landed at Miami, as we know, but played small-level football, like Incarnate Word, whatever it was. Washington State. Shedeur went and got his head kicked in at Colorado and still was awesome, tough as hell, and put up numbers. Like, that would be my guy, because wherever you're going to face some adversity. You're going at the top of the draft. You go to Tennessee. You go to the Giants, the Raiders. You're going to face adversity. So I don't know, man. I just think it'll be fascinating to follow from a Saints perspective as we get closer to the draft. What happens if you do have a situation like in the 2022 draft where nobody was bullish on quarterbacks, couldn't really decide, you didn't have a no doubt like last year with Caleb and Jaden at the top of the draft. What do you do? Could the Saints be sitting there at 9 with the opportunity to take one of these quarterbacks? I think it's a conversation we're going to have here in the next few months. All right, SportsCenter's coming up. We'll talk about Trey Holly, the latest in his legal case, next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. ShawbillsTire.com with locations all over South Louisiana. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. I always encourage you to go to the website, hit the promotions tab, because when you do, you'll see all the specials they have over at Shawbills. And the thing that Shawbills does is exceptionally well is they work so hard. They work so hard to get you the best price possible on the best tires on the road. It's Shawbills. They're going to combine the manufacturer's offer with their own in-house offer to get you the absolute best price. And they're always going to give you exceptional customer service. Like, I love this 5-star Google review. Polite and knowledgeable personnel. I've been a satisfied customer for many years, a 5-star Google review. And the thing is, whenever you go in there and they treat you like family, you can't help but go back year after year after year. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs is out for the rest of the season with a blood clot in his right shoulder. In his second season, Wembanyama is averaging 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks per game. The NBA suspends Bucks forward Bobby Portis 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy. Portis tested positive for a banned pain medication. He'll lose almost $3 million during that suspension. The only time Team USA has beaten Team Canada in a best-on-best tournament was at the 1996 World Cup of Hockey. The two countries share the ice again tonight in the Four Nations Final. ESPN's PK Subban.
If you are an American, you should feel very, very good about where you are sitting right now. Your team's confident. You have a deep team. They've shown that they can answer the bell physically. It's going to be a hell of a match, and I would say that Team USA has just as much of a chance to win.
PK Subban, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. The Bears and the Pats both have new head coaches, but which one is poised to have success in their first year? It's Unsportsmanlike, weekdays at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Cam Carter, LSU basketball guard, 30 minutes from right now. Kendall Rogers, Ross Dellinger, all next hour. Ton to do, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. We have an update on the Trey Holly situation. Again, if you're not familiar, Trey Holly, LSU running back, member of the class of 2023, who, when he finished his high school career at Union Parish up in Farmerville, he was the state's all-time leading rusher, more than 10,000 rushing yards, blew the doors off the old record that Nick Brissett had. Nick Brissett was an 8,000-yard rusher during his time at U-High, and Trey Holly became a 10,000-yard rusher. Incredible. And last February, there was a shooting incident in Union Parish up in Farmerville, in Trey Holly's hometown. And Trey was accused of attempted second-degree murder, among other things. He came out and, if you recall, posted on Facebook and very forcefully and vehemently denied the allegations. He very, very, very staunchly defended himself in this post on Facebook where he said, as you guys know, I was recently arrested on 3 felony charges. I've been falsely identified, accused, and arrested. I am 100% innocent, and the people that know me know this is not my character at all. I was not involved in the incident at all. I was at home, which is where the incident took place. I turned myself in because I was notified of an arrest warrant, and I wanted to fully cooperate. Due to this being an ongoing investigation, I cannot give many details. He went on to say, I'm sorry, and all that sort of stuff. But listen, man. If you're wrongly accused of something, that's the answer you want. Hey, man, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I was home. This is wrong. I did not do it. I was not involved. Like, you want that. And that's what Trey Holly did. And, of course, in this country, we have a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. And it is worth noting that the attempted second-degree murder charges were dropped. A grand jury did not indict him on the attempted second-degree murder charges. And there's an old adage, remember from my days in news, the old newsmen would say, a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. Like, meaning it is very easy to get an indictment. It doesn't mean you're guilty. It's just to bring charges. And so the fact that they did not indict him on the attempted second-degree murder charges it was a giant win for Trey Holly. Now, he is going to go to court, however, to trial on July the 7th on charges of illegal use of a weapon and aggravated criminal damage. Now, there are 2 pretrial hearings, May 21st and June 25th. So, while Trey Holly still faces felony charges, he is suspended from the LSU football team. And just to go back to illustrate how long this process is drawn out, remember, the shooting happened in February of last year, so a calendar year ago. And that's when Trey Holly turned himself in. During the spring, this is what Brian Kelly said during spring football.
I think they're talking about, sometime in the middle of April that we could see a full resolution to this. At that time, we'll begin the process in assisting him for reinstatement, and we'll advocate for him on his behalf and welcome him back.
That was in spring last year. So then we get to SEC Media Days, still no resolution. I asked Brian Kelly one-on-one for a Trey Holly update. This was in July.
The judge in that county, he had to recuse himself because of the familiarity. Because of that, they had to move the case back to next week. If it gets adjudicated next week, it should be over with next week. We're hoping that finally ends this saga.
So that was July. They were hoping in July it was going to be adjudicated, done. It wasn't. In September, the case got delayed again. Here was Brian Kelly.
We've followed Trey's situation legally, and there's not much that we can do. We hope for a resolution in the case, but this is out of our hands right now. This is a matter that needs to be handled through the courts, and once it's cleared through the courts, then we'll be able to make a decision on his status. Again, I think we've been pretty clear that he can't play football here until the legal matters have been settled.
I mean, look, I understand there are alleged crimes, and if those crimes were committed, then those responsible should absolutely have retribution. What is massively disappointing is that you have this very talented young guy whose career is wilting away because the legal process has just got this thing stuck in the mud. So it's been a year. We hope there's resolution. Again, July 7th is the court date, the trial date, I should say, excuse me. There's 2 pretrial hearings in May and in June. So hopefully by July or before then, this is adjudicated, it's over with, and Trey Holly's allowed to go on with his life and rejoin the football team. That timetable would allow him to be there for the start of fall camp. But, of course, he would have missed all of this season and spring with the way this is going right now. And when you look at the running back room, and I understand, I want to be very clear, there are very real felonious activities alleged here. And it's dramatically more important than football. But we are a sports show, so I have to talk about the correlation, how it impacts LSU football. And the unfortunate thing for Trey Holly is as he's been gone, LSU has had to proceed as if they're not going to have him. And so you look now, you lose Josh Williams, is out of eligibility, but Caden Durham was freshman All-America. He's back. Caleb Jackson is back for his 3rd year in the program now. And you're bringing in Harlem Berry and JT Lindsey. Berry is a 5-star number 1 running back in the country, and JT Lindsey was a top 10 running back in the country. You've now got those 4 scholarship running backs ahead of Harlem Berry, who would be going into his 3rd year of college, but didn't play at all last year. How far back on the depth chart is Trey Holly? And then after that, you've got 4 walk-ons with Malachi Lane, Joseph Eboon, and then DK Kensey is another one who prepped at Archbishop Shaw, went to Penn State, and now is walked on at LSU. And then if you missed it a month ago, or earlier this month, I should say, around signing day, Reed Chauvin, who's a fantastic running back locally here at Episcopal High, also was offered the opportunity, like Emil Picarella from U-High, who's walking on at quarterback. Well, Reed Chauvin is walking on at running back. So you've got the 4 scholarship running backs, 4 walk-on running backs, in addition to Trey Holly. So your numbers at running back are really strong, and you look and you really wonder, like, where does Trey Holly fit in the longer he's gone? So for his sake, from a football perspective, and just my life perspective, gosh, I hope this is it. By the time you get to July 7th, it will have been a year and a half since that incident. It is time to bring this thing to resolution. My hope is that it'll happen July 7th, if not sooner. If this thing can be a finality can be agreed upon before you ever get to July, but we'll continue to follow it as it moves along. All right, it is after further review. Countdown is on, y'all. 1 day, 1 hour, and 20 minutes until we give away $5,000. The countdown is on. The countdown is on. Countdown is on? The countdown is on? No? No. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. The countdown is on. $5,000 cash giveaway. Terrio's in studio with us tomorrow, 5:30 on the dot. We are drawing the name. If you want to enter, all you got to do, go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form. Thank you. You can kill that. That's all. Free no obligation roofing inspection. Follow us on social media, and you're entered to win. Just like that, we'll draw a name, and someone's winning $5,000. Tomorrow, we're drawing the name. So you're running out of time. We only did this for 7 days. We're going to do it again somewhere down the line, but we're only doing this for 7 days. We opened it last Friday. We're closing it tomorrow. We're drawing at 5:30. So if you want to enter, go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. All the info, the rules, all that sort of stuff, the giveaway details are on the homepage. Right when you go to the homepage, you'll see the little graphic pop up to get all the info. But basically, register for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Follow us on social media. It's that easy. Your name goes into the hopper. We draw at 5:30 tomorrow. Someone's winning $5,000 cash from Parish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing. It's parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Cam Carter in about 20 minutes from right now when we come back. By the way, I keep messing this up because I didn't fix that. Kendall Rogers next hour. When we come back, I do want to take a closer look at how the Saints may spend with this year's salary cap and all that stuff. Got some info for you. And Jay Johnson addressing the media as well. Ton to do. It's AFR.
AFR.
Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. Love telling you about our friends over at Action Industries. Hey, remember, yes, they do all kinds of work as an industrial and commercial contractor inside the fence. So at the plants, the petrochemical refinery markets, you need work done, remember Action Industries. They know who they are. You know, maybe one of the things that I hear so often is the pain point. If you hire one of the giant, like, mega contractors who are amazing, you want the $200 million project, hire one of those mega contractors. That's not Action Industries. They know they'll never bid that job. But if you need that, like, 100-person job and you hire the mega contractor and you're just not a big enough deal to them to get their best, that is it. You would be Action Industries' number one priority. You would get their best people, their undivided attention. It's Action Industries. And they also have the Advanced Turnaround Group, which is their turnaround division at Action Industries. Check them out online, y'all. It's Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
.1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust want to help cover your car payments. It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months.
Let's go.
We're also letting you earn extra entries. You know how? By subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com.
Now, I heard that daily newsletter is pretty good.
It's free, too.
Pretty good and pretty free. Go to LouisianaSports.net. Sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter, it's an email that comes every morning, 9 a.m. Central. Right to your inbox, boom. Here's all the headlines you need to know. Totally free. LouisianaSports.net. And sign up for the, what is it called again, Muse?
The Citizens Bank, the car payments for a year. Citizens Bank and Trust. And you can win Benny's Car Wash, free car washes for 6 months as well.
Let's go. This, is our site down? There it goes. It wasn't loading. Oh. I was like, did we crash the site? Did everyone just immediately flood to 1045ESPN.com?
I thought you were talking about .net for a minute there.
No.
I'm like, uh-oh.
No. Although we did have a little moment yesterday.
Yeah?
This thing is not loading. I think everybody's crashing the site. Anyway, that sucks. So go to LouisianaSports.net instead. Yeah, so the developer was doing some work on the site and they didn't tell us, a little miscommunication, and so there was about an hour yesterday morning where the site, they were supposed to be doing it on doing the work on a demo site, and they were doing it on the actual site. So if you went to LouisianaSports.net for about an hour on Wednesday morning, it reverted to last Friday's detail. So everything from last Friday was what you were looking at as if it were current. So 5 days worth of content. It was like, where is it?
That's not good. Nope. That's not what you're after. That's not what we want here.
Needless to say, we were pretty aggressive in getting them to fix that. Can you imagine me in that situation?
Yeah, well, that's why when you said the website said, I thought .net, I was like, oh, that's not good during the hours of 3 to 6.
Nope. Or any hours.
Or any hours,
at all
but
ever.
Especially 3 to 6.
Or any hours. Ever. So go sign up. Win you some car payments, win you some car washes, and you get extra entries by subscribing to our newsletter, LouisianaSports.net. And, hey, one other quick reminder, and I'm going to move on. If you have the 104.5 ESPN app, and I understand we have audience in Alexandria and Lafayette and Lake Charles. Thank you to our affiliates, are amazing. We do have an app, though, here for 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Free app in the App Store where you can listen, take us on the go anywhere you are. Turn on notifications on that app. You have to go into settings and turn on the notifications. We're not just going to have push notifications on. But if you go turn on notifications, you will get our push notifications from LouisianaSports.net. So whenever there's breaking news, like this morning when the Saints hired Doug Nussmeier, boom, we had a push notification go out. I'm trying to think of another example, but whenever there's breaking news or something like that, we'll send it out via push there. So go to the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app and turn on your push notifications. Okay, so after further review, we are glad that you're hanging out with us here. Jay Johnson met with reporters earlier today. It was interesting. Doug Thompson was here last hour, and I asked Doug what he wanted to see offensively from LSU this weekend, and one of the things he mentioned was protection around Bear Jones. And for me, I'm not in a vacuum here. I know a lot of people have talked about it, but that was really the big question I had offensively for this team is, Bear hit 28 a year ago. Tommy White's gone. So who provides that protection in the lineup? So far, so good. And Jay Johnson did talk about the top three in the order, as we've seen Stanfield, Curiel, and then Bear Jones, and what he likes about that trio.
I always feel like applying pressure right from the start of the game is important. Like, I've always liked a guy that can hit an extra base hit in the leadoff spot. Chris can do that. He's got to be one of the fastest players in the country, so that immediately applies pressure. The quality of bats that we've seen from Derek since the first pitch of the fall, that's going to be a fight, for the pitcher right off the bat. And then, so you have that, and then you have Jared sitting there, with obviously his ability to hit and to hit with power. So I think it makes the first inning difficult, and that's a good thing. I think we scored in the first inning 3 of the 4 games so far.
I mean, through 4 games, Stanfield's hitting 500, Curiel's hitting 500, Jared Jones is hitting 300, but the caveat with Jones, is he's walked 5 times. Jones has walked 5 times and been hit by pitch twice. That's 7 times he's gotten a free pass. There's just not a lot of teams that are going to give him pitches to hit. So the guys around him have to hit. And then, of course, if you're going to slot Dickinson in the cleanup role behind Jared Jones, Dickinson's hitting 462, and he's been awesome so far through 13 ABs with 7 runs scored, 6 hits, a double, a homer, 9 RBI. Like, that's what you got to have. If you're going to – look, I know who they played, but if you're going to pitch around Jared Jones, the guys around Jones have to be able to make you pay for pitching around Jared Jones. And so far, we're seeing that. One more from Jay, who did talk about the plate discipline that he's seen from Jared Jones so far this year.
I think he's doing great. We have a really good idea of what we're trying to get out of everything with him. And, I've mentioned this before. I really enjoy coaching him. And, we'll have had 3 years together by the time he gets drafted and is gone this year. And just the evolution of that has been really right on point. And he's a better hitter and player today than he's ever been. And I think it's just a solid understanding of what he's doing, why he's doing it, how he's doing it, and then the reps. And then we've, worked on some things since we've gotten back. And it all kind of blends together, whether he maybe even realizes it or not. He's getting a really good handle on it.
As a freshman, Jones, he struck out 69 times and walked 36 times. Last year, struck out 76 times, walked 59 times. And so far, obviously, through 4 games, we've already seen him walk 5. So he's pacing for well over 60 walks this year. So you'll love to see that. Get on base and trust the guys around you to get the runs in. So something to watch this weekend as we move through another baseball weekend at the boxes. Omaha will come in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on Monday the Tigers will play Nichols at the box game they've added here with the adjustment from Wednesday for LSU and the Colonels. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Of course, always encourage you to drink Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com. Better source of hydration, a healthier alternative. Not all water is the same. Don't just assume because you're drinking bottled water that you're drinking a great product. Not every product is a natural product. Grab that bottle, look at the label. You'll see minerals added for flavor, different things like that. Things added, extracted. Like with Evamore, this is natural artesian water. It is piped straight out of the well into the bottling facility, into the bottle, and then boom, never touches air until you uncap it. It is a better form of hydration. Elite athletes, Dak Prescott is one of their endorsers. Cloth and Nuss, the Olympic beach volleyball players from LSU, they are Evermore endorsers. You don't have to be an elite athlete, though. Just a parent that wants something healthier in your household for your spouse, your children, Evermore. EVAMOR. Drink Evermore. Evermore.com. All right, Cam Carter in 5 minutes, LSU guard. Excited to talk to Cam. One other quick thing. Sometimes I think as we sort of get insulated in our little bubbles of sports talk and news and the topics that we talk about all the time that we find interesting, I think sometimes it's validating to hear people outside of your bubble kind of talking about the same thing. So there were Dan Graziano did a piece where he was talking about the biggest questions this offseason in the NFL. And number 4 of like the top 10 questions that he was looking at in the NFL for this offseason was in fact about the New Orleans Saints. And it was the Saints will not be spending, maybe, was one of the top 10 storylines that he listed. Forgive me, it wasn't Graziano. It was this was at Yahoo. It was Frank Schwab at Yahoo. It was top 10 free agency questions. So, the thing that the Saints do and have done every year, of course, is they restructure contracts to get within cap compliance, but that doesn't really leave you room to spend. So the question is this year is, with over $60 million in cap liabilities, which they've already slashed some of that, do they continue to just do enough to get under the cap and kicking cap hits into future years, or do they just tear it all down? Just swallow the bad season this year or two and move on. But that's one of the questions that that Yahoo is asking there with Schwab, and that we're asking here is what they're going to do. You contrast it to, like, as he did here, the Patriots have $181 million in cap space. The Patriots have $181 million in cap space, and you went into this offseason $60 million over the cap. Like, you're not in a position to rebuild. You need to get in a position like the Patriots are in, where they had their teardown. Brady's gone. Belichick's gone. They were awful last year, but they have reset. They got a top 5 pick, $180 million to spend, and a new coach. You could see that thing moving in the right direction. The possibility of how they've laid the groundwork to move in the right direction. They had a miserable season last year, but now they have the possibility of moving in the right direction. That's where you have to look at if you're the Saints. Could you be in that situation next year? A top 5 pick, $180 million in cap space, new coach, again, top 5 pick, or maybe you go get your franchise quarterback. I think that's how you have to view it. But you've got to be willing to say, we're going to stink this year. See if they will. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Kendall Rogers in 30 minutes. Ross Dellinger next hour. When we come back, sensational LSU senior guard Cam Carter will join us. We'll do that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, the freeze is here. Woke up this morning, temps were in the 20s, and the wind chill was like 14 degrees. You can get by Clegg's Nursery if you want to protect your flowers and your plants and your trees and your shrubs. They got the freezer cloths and all the things to protect your plants, your garden, and your home, your faucets, and everything like that against the freezing temperatures. So get to any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations: Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. And even if you're not worried so much about that because you got what you need, remember, they've still got beautiful flowers showing up every single day. The marigolds right now are awesome. Look at this picture they just posted. So, gorgeous. Oranges and yellows. If you want to go check them out, you can at any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. They've been doing it for more than 60 years. The most helpful, knowledgeable staff. Where else would you possibly go? Nowhere. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Williams to put it in play. Inbounds to Carter up top. 18 on the shot clock. He'll launch a three. He's fouled and it's good. Jalen Moore comes out to foul Cam Carter. String music here in Norman, Oklahoma, and a possible 4-point play.
One of the more improbable sequences, but man, was it fun to watch. A team that needed it at the time. Cam Carter's heroics at the end of the Oklahoma game broke that 7-game conference losing streak for LSU. Now the Tigers back-to-back wins, and they bring in the number 2 team in the country on Saturday with Florida coming to the PMAC. By the way, the first 500 students get free canes when you show your basketball ticket from the game. How about that? Muse, tell me you would be all in on some.
I would have been all over that, absolutely.
Oh, my God. I'd have been making my friends that didn't even like basketball show up just to give me their tickets so I get free canes.
Smart move.
That's heady play. See what Cam Carter's got in store this Saturday. He's with us now. Cam, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
No, I'm good, man. No problem.
What's your order at Cane's?
I literally just ate canes like 30 minutes ago.
See?
But I got a little kids meal because I ate not too long ago.
All right. Well, you just got a kids meal, but what's your normal order?
All right, my normal is a box combo, no coleslaw, extra toast,
Attaboy.
butter on both sides,
Attaboy.
and everything extra crispy.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Say, what do you think about people that get the extra slaw?
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I ain't judging.
No, see, I think we should judge. That we should be a more judgmental people, Cam. That's what we should do. We should judge people who get extra coleslaw, and we should extradite them from our society. They should not be allowed to be here. I mean, who wants extra coleslaw when you can get what you just said? Extra toast, buttered on both sides, or the delicious crinkle cut fries. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, I want to quit the show right now and go eat canes. That's what I want to do. Hey, man, what was that sequence at the end of the Oklahoma game like? I mean, 7-point plays, boom. Not 7-point play, but 2 sequences right there, 7 points, boom, boom. What was that like living that?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Like, you know, just, man, I'm still watching it to this day. Like, I just told my brother that's like one of the best moment in my career. But, like, going through it, man, game on the line, I'm just thinking win. Like, especially, like, you know, when I got the layup in the end, it was mad. I mean, I ain't have to say anything. You probably could just see it in my face. Like, everybody get out the way. I'm about to get this bucket.
You know what's crazy, though, Cam? It's like you go through a 7-game losing streak, and it's like it's easy for us to just, like, to disengage, right? But y'all have to get up every day and work out and go to the gym and travel. And then it's just, I would imagine a losing streak like that grinds on you. Like, if I asked you to elaborate, like, what is it like when you're in the middle of that storm and you're going through a losing streak like that?
you just think about it like, I mean, you playing for something bigger than yourself. I mean, you playing for LSU. So, I mean, you can be selfish about it and pout, but, I mean, LSU is a nationwide brand. So, just, I mean, it's a blessing just to wake up in an LSU jersey every morning.
You know, man, you for those that don't know, I'm sure most people here do know your story. You went to EA, and then your senior year of high school, you transferred to Oak Hills, and then went to Mississippi State, then Kansas State. Now you found your way back here. When you were younger, and I don't remember if you and I talked. We talked whenever you committed, but I don't remember if we talked about this. Like, did you dream as a kid of playing at LSU? Was like that something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, 100%. It was, so it's funny. So, I mean, LSU, you know, is always, you know, my dream school, especially being from Louisiana. But my first dream school was Kentucky because I was an Anthony Davis fan. And I'm glad we get to play them now, and they're going to feel me too. But LSU, yeah, just growing up, you know, just seeing purple and gold all over. I mean, it's something I dreamed of. And, I mean, my dreams is real, like, you know, and just being prayed up and God just opening that door for me, it means a lot.
What do you think of Anthony Davis now?
I mean, he's still a baller. He's one of the best bigs in the league right now.
I know. I like that Charles Barkley calls him street clothes because, like, I'm a Pelicans fan, and so I'm really jaded that he left, and it never really worked out. So I kind of like calling him street clothes. You hold that against me?
Nah, I don't hold it against you because he is in street clothes a lot.
That's what I'm talking about, my guys. They're realists. Cam Carter's with us here, LSU in Florida on Saturday. First 500 students get free canes. You know, then I think we could all look at it, man. The next 5. You got 3 top 10 opponents, 5 ranked opponents. Like, do you look ahead at the schedule and go, my God, like look at what's ahead? Like, do you look at it that way?
No, indeed. I look at it as I'm ready. Like, it's free kill. That's free lunch.
What about the Florida specifically, right? Because they're next. When y'all look at Florida on tape, what's the thing that they do really well, you think that's going to present some challenges?
Shooting the ball, offensive rebounding, and they transition. But they don't do nothing special that we not ready for, though.
Interesting. Is there something where you think you all are, the way that you all play are maybe positioned to be able to exploit against Florida?
Wait, you can say that again, my bad.
No, is there something that you all do well that you think you can exploit against Florida?
Yeah, I mean, just our whole game. I mean, now we switch the lineup and, you know, just spreading the flow out. It just makes it easy for, you know, all of our scorers to be scorers. And, I mean, I don't see them being, you know, the best defensive team. So, you know, our offense really going to have a spark. And our first shot defense is amazing. So, you know, just taking them off the glass, you know, limiting them to one shot each possession, that's going to be a big thing for us.
Yeah. You know, the one other thing we've seen these past couple games is y'all gone to more of a smaller lineup, the 4-guard lineup. What's it been like playing with 4 guards?
I mean, it's been fun because, I mean, it makes the game a lot easier for me, you know, as a player because, you know, I love to score, but, you know, if you're going to be crazy and double me, I'll be crazy and, you know, collapse when I get to the paint. I'll just kick it out and somebody open.
Yeah, man. We got to see Mike Williams make some big buckets for you guys. What's it been like for him, you know, kind of have that type of year, be patient, and have this opportunity later in the season?
Just because I went through what he went through, and, you know, just staying strong and keeping your faith in God for him, you know, I commend him for it because, I mean, that's a tough thing to do, and he did it, and he over that hump now, and I know he's going to keep growing.
Cam Carter, a couple more minutes. You guys have won two in a row now after that 7-game losing streak. What you know, you said, like, going through the 7-game losing streak, like you're playing for something bigger so you can't pout. What does it feel like now that you've won a couple? You got that monkey off your back, and you know what it's like now to win a couple games in a row.
Shoot, I mean, we done went through the worst, so it only get better.
Love it.
I mean,
man.
we just gonna keep getting better. Yeah.
He is Cam Carter, LSU's leading scorer. It's been a lot of fun. Cam, everybody, I've been getting this question a bunch, man. It's like, man, does Cam Carter have any more eligibility? I'm like, I don't think so. I think this is it for Cam Carter. But I don't know. You trying to find some Diego Pavia rule or something like that? Like a guy from Ascension Parish who went away, that came back, find a year of eligibility, something like that. Can we find some loophole somewhere, get you back another year?
Man, if it's possible and the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, I'll definitely do it.
Man, I will. We'll get all the attorneys looking up through the NCAA code to see if we can find some loophole to get you back here, man.
It sounds like a plan.
Man, it's good to chat. Congrats on a great season so far. It's been fun to watch you play, man. Hopefully, you'll go get a dub on Saturday against the Gators, man. Thank you for the time.
No problem.
That is Cam Carter, LSU guard, local guy, man. EA, and you're from Donaldsonville, went to EA, and then last year went to Oak Hills in Virginia, Mississippi State for a year, Kansas State for 2. Got to play against his former squad earlier this year. They won in Manhattan, which was really cool to see. And, man, he has been just everything for this team, averaging 17 a night. And, Sears is the next closest at 12. And then, honestly, Jalen Reed is the only other one in double digits, and Reed only played in 8 games before he went down with injury. So Carter and Sears are the only 2 averaging double figures, and Carter's at 17. So he is this team goes offensively as he goes. And he's in a season that has not had a lot of bright spots. Watching Cam Carter play for LSU has been a bright spot because he is fantastic. All right. Hopefully they go get a dub. Remember, tell them students, first 500 students. Let me read this again so I have it right. First 500 students. Let me get this right. Where is it? Here it is. All right. 5 o'clock Saturday against number 2 Florida. First 500 students get free canes. Show your basketball ticket from the 2 p.m. game. You get a free basketball ticket. Is that right? If you show.
Wait, you show your ticket at Canes, though, right?
First 500 students get free canes. Show your basketball ticket from the 2 p.m. game and get a free basketball ticket. That's what the text says. It's got to mean you get a free canes. It's got to be.
Yeah, because
students get in the games free anyway.
Right. You just scan your ID, or at least that's how it was when I was there.
Do they get a physical ticket? No, they got to get a physical ticket, right?
No, at least, no. I mean, when I was there, you just scanned the ID. Because I was going to say earlier, I was like, I still actually have my old LSU ID in my wallet. I wonder if that works.
We didn't have to scan IDs. You just flashed an ID and you could walk in. Now, football, you had to have a physical ticket. And then at the gate, you had to show your ID along with your student ticket, and they'd tear your ticket. Fun fact that there's a group of us that would go to the student. We were the first people at the student gate every game. We would go 3 hours before the gate opened. 3 hours before the gate opened. Whew. And so we would stand in line.
Bring any beverages?
Had a lot of help from Jack Daniels, yes.
Yeah,
oh, did we? Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. I perfected the flask in the crotch where I would put it inside the belt, right? So up against my body, so you wouldn't necessarily – it was like a flat flask as well. Now, it's rectangular, so you'd have sort of a weird shape there. But if you kept – and this was also the time used during it was like cargo shorts.
Oh,
so
dude.
So one of the times where cargo shorts being baggy and ridiculous actually –
and having all those pockets?
Yes. So, but I don't know what the kids do now because their shorts are they wear nut huggers.
Yes.
Like the mid-thigh nut huggers. I'm like, well, where do you put your booze? What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? I don't know.
I mean, I guess in the fall when it's boots and jeans, you can just tuck it in your boot. I mean, we would do that every now and then.
Oh, there we go. All right. Thank you, Kent. Okay. The baseball ticket from the 2 p.m. baseball game.
Oh, that's right, because they have the day game baseball and night game basketball.
Show your baseball. So that's for anybody. The first 500 students get canes.
There you go.
Okay. Anybody show your baseball ticket from the 2 o'clock game and you get a basketball ticket.
That's really solid.
Thank you, Kent. Okay. I'm glad he was listening. Thank you, Kent Lowe, who gave me the clarification. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So make a day of it. 2 o'clock baseball game. Go over to the Maravich Center and watch them play the number 2 team in the country. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I still want the Canes.
Yeah.
Oh, to finish my story. So we'd be first in line at the gate. And that they have the roll-up gate, right? At Tiger Stadium. But they have to roll, physically roll up the gate. And it's open seating it's general seating in the student section. We had our seats every game. So we got friendly with the ticket tear. And they would always give us the pre-tear. So they'd look at our stuff and tear it. So as soon as they started to roll the gate, we're underneath the gate and sprinting. Good times, man.
Was never first in line ever.
We were first row. I'd really like to apologize retroactively to everybody who ever sat next to me at an LSU game when I was a student, because you did not have a good time. When LSU played Kentucky, I gotta go. Tigers and the Pros next. When LSU played Kentucky in 2001, let me come back. I'll tell this story.
All right.
Okay. All right. It's AFR.
After further review,
go to yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com. I get it. Funny name. The logo's funny. I get it. A lot of that is to bring levity into something that a lot of people are uncomfortable talking about. But I have no problem talking about hormone replacement therapy because I've shared my experience with you over the years. Healthy adult males, middle age, at my age, you probably want to be in the 600 to 800 range for testosterone level. At 34 years old, I was in the 200s. I didn't do anything wrong. Went through a life experience like we all do in life. An extremely stressful experience where I had to look at my son in a hospital bed, moved my family to another state every day for 9 months. It's like the stress of that had a physical manifestation on my body. It physically aged me. We all age differently. So no matter your age, if you want to feel like your younger self, hormone replacement therapy could be the answer. Learn more, y'all. yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
News. Breaking news. Kidding. I got to tell the Kentucky story. I didn't forget. All right. So, if you're just joining us, thank you. Shout out Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Love them. DecisionCriticalBR.com. 2001. So I was a student at LSU. I was the worst ever. Some of you think I still am the worst ever. But I was the guy that, like, me and my friends and I were the first ones at the gate, the first one, like, running into the student section. If you watch Whiskey and Wine, we did the most vulgar chant ever that you've ever heard in your life during a Whiskey and Wine this year. T-Bob pried it out of me.
It was when they beat Ole Miss, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I think it was.
Probably. And, man, it just meant so much to me in my life at that point. Not that I still I wanted to win all the time, but it's just like you get older and you realize there's different priorities and perspective and stuff. Well, the 01 Kentucky, LSU played at Kentucky consecutive years because there was a weird scheduling thing where LSU had Ole Miss come to Baton Rouge in consecutive years, and LSU went to Kentucky in 01, 02. Everybody remembers 02 for Bluegrass Miracle, but LSU played at Kentucky 01 as well and had a very dramatic ending where Rohan threw a touchdown pass to Michael Clayton with like 14 seconds left in the game. I mean, it was a dramatic ending to that one as well. I think Shane Boyd and Jared Lorenzen were splitting time at quarterback.
Lorenzen, man.
You'd have to the hefty throw boy,
the hefty lefty,
or the Pillsbury throw boy, hefty lefty. You have to check Rip, by the way.
Yeah,
you'd have to check me on the Shane Boyd thing, but I think I'm right on that. Anyway, in that game, my student ticket had me in the last row of this. Wasn't general seating; it was an opposing game. So I was in the last row of the student section. So it was lower level, but the last row of the student section. So it was like last row of the student section. The very next row is old people, right? Well, what does the student section do? They stand the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the last row. What am I going to do?
Stand.
Yeah, because if I sit, then I can't see. Well, this old couple behind me were very not pleased that I was standing the whole game. And I let them know throughout the game my displeasure with them being displeased with me throughout the whole game. And if I could go back and retroactively put myself in that situation, I would have punched me in the face.
Yeah.
Now, it still wouldn't have changed the fact that I couldn't see the game.
True.
I couldn't see the game if I sat. I had to stand. Like, what you need to do, and what they did eventually, was they went to an usher and had the usher go to the first row and try to get everybody to sit. How do you think that went over?
Not well.
Yeah. I mean, what you got, 500,000 students, whatever, were at the game? I don't know. Yeah. Like a turd in a punch bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that. Herding cats, all that sort of stuff. So, anyway. But I didn't go to Bluegrass Miracle because I went to Kentucky the year before. I was like, did that trip. I had an event in Baton Rouge that day. It was like an awards banquet for a job thing. And I was like, I'll go to this thing because I went to Kentucky last year. So I missed Bluegrass Miracle.
That's tough.
That's probably the better story I should tell.
Yeah, that's tough.
All
That's
right.
a tough scene.
Yeah. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, which is, you want to go quickly?
Yeah, I can go quickly.
All right, quickly. Tigers and the Pros. And then I'll do Lee Michaels.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Spring training started today.
That's Tigers in the Pros, presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Sorry, go.
The Dodgers and the Cubs. Our guy, Hunter Fiducia.
Let's go!
1 for 2 with a double. He's hitting 500 in spring training. Coming for that roster spot.
Yeah!
Cam Thomas. And the Nets, they're back on the floor.
That's Tigers in the Pros, but
Thomas cleared the scrimmage on Thursday, 5-on-5. He could return. He'll be first available to return Saturday against the Sixers. That's Tigers in the Pros.
presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they're the best. I'm telling you, you're going to buy a diamond. Let's say one day when Muse finds the lucky Mrs. Matthew Octavius Musso, and he decides he's going to get down on bended knee and propose marriage to the future Mrs. Matthew.
You got another name? I don't know what you're...
Ricardo Musso.
That's not it either, no.
Darn it. She'll say yes because it'll be a gorgeous, natural diamond from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry in the red box. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, real quick, shout out. I want to do this happy birthday. I feel like Casey Kasem. Requests and dedications. I got an email from Carrie Bergamo, her husband Jim, 70 years old today, a 1978 LSU graduate, listens to the show, watches the show on YouTube every day. How about Jim? Turned 70 today, so HBD Jim. Hope it's an awesome one. Hour 3 next.
After further review.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. 924-2020. You know, 2/3 of the people in this room right now are Williamson Eye Center clients and patients. Paulie and I both had LASIK at the Williamson Eye Center. Muse didn't because he would rather just be blind. Right, Muse? Is that what you'd rather be?
No.
Clearly. Then why haven't you gone to the Williamson Eye Center?
I still have 20/20 vision.
Whatever. Hey, go for your eye exam.
I've never been for an eye exam.
See, you should always go for your eye exam, Muse, and you could do it at any of their locations. And they got locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. The newest locations down the river parishes in Lutcher, but they've got Denham and Zachary, Baton Rouge, Connells Park, the Baton Rouge General location, which is gorgeous, state-of-the-art everything. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Remember, eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You can have your eye exam. You can update your prescription, buy your contacts and glasses there at their eye center. And, of course, refractive procedures, no matter your issue. 924-2020.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Spurs center Victor Wembanyama will miss the rest of the season with a blood clot in his right shoulder. ESPN's Shams Charania.
The Spurs right now believe that this is an isolated condition, that there's one
form of a blood clot in that right shoulder of his that will sideline him for the remainder of the season. The hope, obviously, is that there's no spread, that there's nothing more here.
Shams Charania. Right now, the Spurs are optimistic Wembanyama will make a full recovery in time for the new season in the fall. Anthony Davis of the Mavericks will miss at least 2 more weeks with a left groin strain. He got hurt during his first game with Dallas 12 days ago after getting traded by the Lakers. Tonight in Boston, the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game, Team USA and Team Canada. The game at 8 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Cowboys offensive lineman Zach Martin announces his retirement today. During his 11 years in Dallas, Martin was a first-team All-Pro 7 times. He was limited to 10 games this season with an ankle injury.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
Woo! Had to do it. Had to do it.
That was a good one.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, good enough to hang out with us here Thursday's baseball season. Talk a little hardball. How are you, dude?
I'm doing awesome. You know, I feel like Musso's a little slow on that button these days. I feel like the Todd Peterson button should be faster.
Peterson.
There we go. There we go.
You know, Kendall, we're after 420, knowing Muse and some of his habits, reaction time slows a little. That's probably what's going on.
Do the bit right now. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Little Baton Rouge tobacco, huh?
I'm sorry, bit?
Yeah. Let's talk baseball.
Matthew Xavier Musso, not a fan of me exposing his habits there, Kendall.
He did get very quiet. Looks very good. Sounds very guilty.
Yep, that's a very guilty sound, isn't it? Sure sounds like it.
It is.
Paul, does that sound guilty to you when he gets quiet like that? Do you think he sounds guilty?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you what. Muse,
it's like a kid with his hand stuck in a cookie jar.
See, Muse, I mean, I don't know what you had to say for yourself now. I mean, Kendall is coming in. He's made this observation as well very quickly.
That's all right. ESPN has that new testing policy that begins on Monday. So.
Oh, no, you know, we actually got rid of that policy several years back when Muse started working here. So he's good. He is good to go, ship shape.
That's the way he's able to clear HR, huh?
Hey, what opening weekend? Give me a big picture takeaway from what happened around the SEC. What stood out?
Yeah, you know, I'll say this since I was at Globe Life over the weekend. You know, Ole Miss is much better. You know, we'll see how much better as we get closer to conference and get in the SEC. But Hunter Elliott, you know, last time we saw him in a meaningful spot was when they won the national championship that day. He pitched lights out against Oklahoma. And, you know, over the weekend, he was really good. I mean, his stuff could have been a little bit crisper. I mean, in the middle innings, it kind of tapered off a little bit. But, I mean, he had a really good start. I loved it. Like, it was kind of fun watching him pitch because it was like every single time he got like a strikeout or something, you could just see a huge smile on his face. So for a guy to go from, you know, almost winning the MVP award of the World Series as a freshman to sitting out essentially 2 full years and to pitch like that, you know, in his first start back was really cool. The other thing is, to kind of make this Baton Rouge related, you know, Luke Hill for Ole Miss looked very good over the weekend.
Yeah.
This is a guy that, you know, obviously transferred to Ole Miss from ASU, was good last year, was not great, but man, he was awesome over the weekend. He was a leader. He hit with a lot of power. He's already 1 home run away from equaling all of last year's totals. So Ole Miss was a bright spot, and I thought Texas look good as well. I mean, we'll see how Texas can kind of piece things together on the mound. But really like the Longhorns offense. I don't think their offense being good was any surprise with who they brought back. But Will Gasparino, Max Ballou, and they've got a freshman by the name of Adrian Rodriguez who's going to be really good.
Ken, I'm glad you started with Ole Miss because whenever you and I or anybody talks about the SEC, like we know what the top is, right? We could talk forever about Tennessee or LSU or A&M or Arkansas and know there's talent galore and teams can win. But the big challenge of the SEC is like the middle tier is like 10 teams that are all capable of being regional teams that could sneak up and beat you in any given weekend series. What other teams do you think in that clump, after that, the first 4 or 5 at the top, do you think is a team that could maybe make a charge? I don't want to say like Kentucky a year ago because that might be ambitious, but
yeah.
But you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe it's somebody like Mississippi State. I thought over the weekend, Pico Cone, their Friday guy, threw really well for him. Stone Simmons is a really good arm for them. I think they're going to hit. So Mississippi State might kind of fit that mold. I'm trying to think of other teams in that region. Oklahoma would be another big one for me. We'll see how OU's offense progresses as the season goes on. But, you look at their pitching staff over the weekend, Kyson Witherspoon in 40-degree weather up to 99. Malachi Witherspoon, 40-degree weather up to 99, looked sharp. Cam Johnson was up to 98. Of course, Cam, unfortunately, still had some command issues. I think he had 5 walks or something. But, I mean, we all know the upside there. But, I mean, they got a stable of arms in the bullpen as well. So, Ole Miss is obviously a team. But I think Oklahoma, for me, when I look at their frontline pitching, that's a team that, like, man, they've got the pitching to win a lot of games in the SEC as long as the offense comes through.
Kendall, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least get a thought on LSU's opening weekend. I mean, it was obviously impressive, but the competition has to be considered. What do you think you learned, if anything, about LSU 4 games in?
Well, I think we at least learned that they're probably not going to play down their competition. This did not look like a team that was ultra sloppy, not ready to play, taking their opponent for granted. This is a team that was locked in opening weekend. I think there is something to be said about that a little bit, kind of like with Tennessee and the way they played over the weekend against a far inferior opponent. But I think my biggest takeaway from the weekend is just the pitching. We've heard so much about Cade Anderson, Ianson, Chase Shores, and we finally got to see them in the wild. And I thought all 3 of those guys obviously threw very well over the weekend. Case and Evans, Maverick Rizzi were both up to 99 on the bump. Just a lot of electricity. And, it was only, 2 years ago, even on the national championship team, that we all kind of talked about, like, okay, is there enough bullpen for LSU to win the national championship? Like, are there enough pieces other than Paul Skeens? Suddenly now, it feels like Nate Yeskie has a really, really deep pitching staff. You've got guys like, Will Schmidt that's going to have to throw really well to fight for innings, and he's a supreme young talent. So I love the pitching depth of this team, and I think they're obviously going to hit.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Great time to go subscribe with the new season starting over at D1Baseball.com. It's just the best, most comprehensive college baseball coverage you're going to get, D1Baseball.com. This weekend, Kendall, it's always interesting, like when you get pre-conference, because you're going to get a lot of snoozers. Like LSU's welcoming in Omaha. I don't know much about them, but give me something this weekend that there's more games at Globe Life, but give me something this weekend that a series or something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I'll actually be in Round Rock tomorrow, frozen solid. I think it's supposed to be like 35 degrees all day long in Round Rock. But, I just talked about OU. You've got Oklahoma, Virginia, Oregon State. You've got 2 top 10 national championship contenders playing in Oklahoma this weekend. So just seeing OSU, they have a freshman for the Bees named Dax Whitney, who's up to like 98 to 100 opening weekend. So obviously very excited to see him. And then, up at Globe Life, TCU, they lose their Friday starter in Bennett Belt for the season last week, and they go out on the road and sweep a 4-game series from the WCC favorite, USD. So TCU faces Arkansas Saturday night at Globe Life. I want to say Arkansas had like 18,000 fans there last year when they played at Globe Life. Wow. So that with TCU there, that should be an electric atmosphere. So those are the 2 main things I'm keeping an eye on this weekend.
Do you know anything about Omaha? Not the town, because I know you've been there a lot, but the university that LSU is going to play this weekend?
Well, I mean, they play in a really nice ballpark. I know Evan Porter does a really nice job there. They've had some ups and downs, but I think it was 2 years ago they won their conference, and so they're always decently competitive.
Yeah, wasn't Todd Peterson their pitcher?
Todd Peterson.
What is Todd Peterson doing these days?
Todd Peterson.
Playing pro ball out there.
Okay, still at it. Okay.
Hitting nukes, hitting bombs. Actually, probably not doing that. Maybe in BP if they let him swing a little bit. In the Nationals organization, Muse follows all the guys for Tigers and the pros. Do you know Muse off the top?
That's where he was last season.
Yeah. Okay. I would assume that's where he'll start again this year. So, Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Good stuff as always, man. Bring warm clothes to Round Rock. Maybe like the heated blanket.
I know.
I
go from a 75-degree environment, Globe Life, to 35 tomorrow. So can't wait.
That is just miserable. Like I would not ever want to do that. Anyway. All right, man. Enjoy. We'll talk again next week. Thank you.
Vince, I'll be good. Thank you.
All right. That is Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. It's AFR. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You're the market for new vehicle. You want something that looks great, right? Check. You want something that's going to perform. Great gas mileage, reliable, durable, it lasts, right? Volkswagen, check. You want something at a great price, right? Well, Volkswagen, you get that. Great deal, dealer specials right now. You can check out at southpointvw.com. You want something built in America, so you're supporting American jobs, right? Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen, manufactured right there at the Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. Checks all the boxes. By the way, did I mention, for you, but especially if you're a parent buying a vehicle for your child, 9 different IIHS top safety picks, the highest safety designation you could possibly earn. Stylish, affordable, luxurious, safe. Why would you go anywhere else? South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, Ross Dellinger is going to join us. Delly was in New Orleans yesterday. Apparently the SEC and Big Ten commissioners were meeting in New Orleans. So what happened there? We'll ask for an update from Ross. And then Ross, I understand, spent part of the day today. I think he's maybe working on something around LSU today. So see what that's all about. Always appreciate we get a couple of minutes with Delly. Now with Yahoo Sports, you know that well. One of the best college football reporters in the country. So we'll catch up with Delly when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
41 degrees. Temps dropping. What are we getting down to tonight? Has anybody looked? Devastated to look at this. 33 tonight. Actually, this is showing 30. This is showing 27. Low of 25. My bad. It's 33 right now. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm showing 26 as the low.
Low of 25.
Yeah.
So you're going to crank up your heater. Funny noises, funny smells, not working as it should. Call the best. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. Don't just ignore it. You know, every year during winter, we always hear about house fires. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's something where you got to be diligent. Like we get our heater safety check every year for this exact reason, to make sure that thing is running efficiently but safely as well. Call River City's 1 Hour Air if you have an issue. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
No doubt, throughout this offseason in college football, one of the biggest storylines will be potential changes to the college football playoff. Our guy, Ross Dellenger, has been all over it. Was in New Orleans yesterday where the heads of the SEC and Big Ten were meeting. Ross is in Baton Rouge today, and he's with us now. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
Doing really well. Okay, let's talk about, and you have a nice piece up at Yahoo. Anybody wants to go read it, about the SEC and Big Ten meeting yesterday. Was this just the two commissioners meeting there in New Orleans yesterday?
No, it was all of their athletic directors as well, or most of them. There were a couple of Big Ten athletic directors that couldn't make it, but it was all of the SEC athletic directors were there, and most of the Big Ten athletic directors were there, and that was kind of a joint meeting yesterday that was had all day. Now, the SEC athletic directors met by themselves on Tuesday there, and on Monday, the SEC athletic directors had a joint meeting with their coaches. So that was their kind of annual SEC winter meetings, and they just, on the back end of it, they had the Big Ten come in for their a joint meeting between the two conferences.
All right, you wrote about it, but if you would explain what they all decided they'd like to see.
Yeah, well, I think, there's really only one real firm, decisive decision, you could say, was made, and that is the two leagues want an immediate change to the seeding of the playoff. Right now, the way the teams are seeded are not directly aligned with the selection committee's rankings, because the top four seeds who get the first round byes go to only conference champions, and the SEC and the Big Ten would like that removed for pretty obvious reasons. I think we saw this year, Arizona State was ranked 9 by the committee. Boise State was ranked 12 by the committee, and they were seeded 3 and 4 and got the byes because the top four seeds get automatic byes and get those 4 seeds. So they'd like it to just be a straight seeding based on the ranking, no more automatics for conference champions. However, Matt, to make that change and to make any changes to the specific 2025 playoff, not beyond that, but specific to the 2025 playoff, it takes unanimity among the 10 FBS conferences in Notre Dame that sits on the CFP board. That is unlikely to happen, I would say. The Big 12 commissioner and the ACC commissioner have spoke to me and pretty publicly about how they would be against that, because they benefit, right, from those conference championship buys. So it takes unanimity. We'll see if they get there. That is a big talking point next week in Dallas when the CFP commissioners all meet on Tuesday. Now, the second part of this is format changes, Matt, starting in 2026 and beyond, which they did discuss at the meeting, but didn't really come to a firm, decisive decision. And I say that the way I do because I think they will or are moving in the direction of creating a format, a different format starting in 2026 that really is kind of a radical change, which is adding more automatic qualifiers to the CFP format, where the Big Ten and SEC would get 4 automatic qualifiers each into the playoff, and the ACC and Big 12 would get 2 each, the G5 would get 1, and there would be 1 or 3 at-large spots. It depends on if they go to 14 or a 16-team field. So I think they are heading in that direction. They are not to the point of deciding that. And along with that, Matt, the SEC is heading toward moving to 9 conference games.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me come back to the 9 conference game thing in a second, but I want to go back to 2025 for a second because I understand completely why the G5 and the other leagues want to keep the seeding as it is. Could the SEC and the Big Ten strong-arm them into voting for them, basically saying, you vote for this now or we leave and do our own thing?
Well, they can't really leave because last spring they signed a memorandum of agreement that's tied to the new ESPN extension of the television contract with the CFP, binding all leagues together through at least 2031. So now what they could do, and what is probably likely, Matt, is that the Big Ten and SEC will say, hey, if you do this format change this year and give it to us, we will go easy on you in any future format. Because they control, and this is something that's very important.
Yeah.
Last spring, during negotiations to extend the TV deal, the Big Ten and SEC did threaten to leave and start their own playoff to keep everybody together. The other leagues granted the Big Ten and SEC, starting in 2026, full authority over format and governance in the CFP. So starting in 2026 playoff, they control it all. So they could be a compromise there, Matt, in some way.
Ross, why wouldn't they just be like, all right, we got a new format starting in 2026. It's going to be all SEC and Big Ten. We control it. Others need not apply.
Well, they could do that, but that would that would violate the memorandum of understanding, which last year had 2 main protections in it. They agreed to 2 main protections that will go through 2031, and the one of the protections is the 5 highest-ranked conference champions get an automatic berth.
Okay.
And the second protection is Notre Dame, if it finishes high enough in the rankings, gets an at-large bid into the field. So if the field is 14 teams and they finish in the top 14, Notre Dame gets an at-large automatic with 16, and they finish in the top 16, Notre Dame gets an automatic at-large. So those are the 2 protections that will go at least through the end of the current contract in 2031.
Okay. Ross Dellinger's with us at Ross Dellinger. Go read his stuff over at Yahoo. Okay, let's go back then to the 9 conference game thing, because for as many times as I and you and everyone else have asked Greg Sankey, that has certainly been non-committal and been to the point that you're not going to go to 9 if it doesn't benefit. And my understanding, Ross, would always be you're guaranteeing half your league another loss. And so there has to be financial and playoff protections built in to make that work. So what are the financial and playoff protections built in to make it work to go to 9, and when might we see that?
Well, we just talked about it, right? If they, in 2026, starting in 2026, if they change the playoff format to guarantee that the SEC gets 4 bids and automatic 4 spots in the playoff, that assures access to 4, which would put, I think, aside everyone's fears in being saddled with an extra loss that could cost them a playoff spot if they had 4 guarantees. So that's a big part of going to 9 games, is also going to the automatic, the more AQ type of format, which they're calling a 4-4-2-2-1 format. And then the other part of this is financial, which is ESPN coming with more revenue for the SEC to play a 9th game. And I believe in the end that will happen as well.
Okay. When might there be a timeline for that decision for a 9th game?
Well, yeah, the decision probably is going to come this spring. The spring meetings in Destin in late May. I would guess we will see the vote there happen. If not there, then I'd guess very soon after there, or even maybe before they arrive, they could always hop on a Zoom, the president, and vote. I will say this: it's not unanimous. It may come out unanimous in the vote, as often things do, but I don't know that the room still feels, even with multiple AQs and assurance of getting in, and even with more money from ESPN, there are still teams that I think don't want to play a 9th game. But Matt, we are in a world where everybody's facing a $20 to $25 million hole in their budget that they need to pay athletes. Money has never been more important, and a 9th game will make you more money through probably ESPN, but also through season ticket packages and all that stuff. So money is more important than ever, and I think the financials will supersede any of the fears of being saddled with another loss. So I'd expect this spring at some point that will happen, but it does need a pair with this change in the CFP format, because I think a big part of that is ensuring that you get 4 automatic qualifiers into the CFP.
Okay, a couple more. Do you think, just your opinion, 14 or 16, which do you think we're headed toward?
But most of the conversation between the SEC and the Big Ten and within each individual league has been around 14. And that would leave you just one at-large that's really basically intended for Notre Dame as the protection that I mentioned earlier. If they get inside the top 14, that they would get that one at-large. 16 opens the door for 2 more at-larges or 5 AQs for the Big Ten and SEC each, which would be a hard one to sell to the public, probably.
Let's go.
In general, Matt, this whole format is hard to sell to the public. My story on Sunday night, kind of breaking a little news that the momentum was coming for all of this that we've talked about. The reaction to the story has been mostly negative. And so you wonder if ESPN and the public reaction will cause leaders to second think this. I don't think that will happen. But it's definitely gotten some pushback.
Yeah. More football. What a terrible idea. More football to decide it on the field. We shouldn't do that, Ross. We should just let those goofballs sit in a hotel ballroom and debate game control and defensive efficiency metrics. That's what we should do. Let's do that. I know you're not going to say anything. That's fine. I say it loudly enough for the both of us. What did you eat while you were in town? What did you eat? What did you drink?
Oh goodness! I got landed in New Orleans on Monday, so I spent 3 days in New Orleans. The last day in Baton Rouge, I hit up Pyran's last night. I got some great oysters and the Maurepas dish with the fish with the pecans was fantastic. For lunch today, I went to Phil's, gumbo, tuna with crab meat, more oysters. Fantastic stuff. In New Orleans, I went to Cochin, got some, got oysters there, and man, Felix had Felix's oysters. I think I've had 5 dozen oysters in 4 days in Louisiana.
Got to make it count, man. By the way, I just sat at my desk for lunch and had a Factor meal that I heated up in the microwave. Phil sounds great. That'd have been really good. I mean, just anytime you want to just, ring, shout. I'm there. I'm here. I'm here. Just if you want. All right. Hey, safe travels. Always appreciate the time. We'll catch you down the road, man. Thank you.
All right, man. See you.
See ya. That's Ross Dellinger on Twitter at Ross Dellinger. Yahoo Sports. Go read his stuff. Of course, always doing an awesome job. We're brought to you by Decision Critical, decisioncriticalbr.com, concierge nursing. They say at Decision Critical, we're not just healthcare, we're healthcare for your lifestyle. And they have these 24-hour packages as well. So if you need nursing care for 24 hours consecutively, they can do that. If you want to break up the 24 hours over the course of a week, they can do that as well. The point is, no matter what it is, if it's end-of-life care, if it's bringing home a new baby, maybe you now are caring for an elderly parent, but you have kids in your house and you have responsibilities and you need help. This is what the professional nurses at Decision Critical are here for. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, after further review, we're not going to break. Otter Locks in 15 minutes from right now. If you want to join us, email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We'll get to a lot of your reaction. I want to react as well to what Ross had to say just there. So stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
When I tell you about Glow Resources, I tell you all the time about how they do 15,000 interviews over the course of a year and how they have a 96% success rate with their hires. But part of their process is going to be first sitting down and going over your needs. Have you used a third party before? Based on your criteria, then they'll analyze their network to see what lines up, their database, their hiring platforms, their network of connections. And then they're going to provide you resumes, keynotes on interviews and screenings and things like that. And then they're going to send that to you, the client, so you can begin interviewing. At Glow Resources, they like to move quickly because good candidates don't stay on the market. They have a process that has allowed them to find skilled blue-collar labor. Their professional placement division will find any white-collar employee you're looking for. If you need to get more efficient to find the best people, you need Glow Resources. They're online at glowresources.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Need service now? Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you same-day appointments for service, and we offer pickup and delivery of your vehicle from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. If you need sales and service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Want to react to what Ross Dellinger had to say there. And thanks again to Delly for the time. By the way, Doug Thompson, hour 1. We had Cam Carter, dynamic LSU senior guard, last hour. Thanks to Kendall Rogers, Ross Dellinger here with us in hour number 3. You missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. It's all there. You want LSU news, search AFR LSU on YouTube or podcast. You want Saints news, search AFR Saints on YouTube or podcast. You want the whole show, search After Further Review. It's all presented by Breck Golf. I'll come back to react to what Ross had to say in just a second. LSU back on the diamond tomorrow, 2 o'clock first pitch again.
4.
Oh, 4.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock first pitch, even worse. Why did they move it to 4?
I think it was always scheduled for 4, this one.
Why 4?
I don't know.
Jay, what are we doing? Like, help your boy out.
Vibes. There's running on vibes over there.
Dude, let's just try it out. Whatever. Anyway, they're going to play Omaha. They're like the Wizards. I think the Mavericks.
They're the Mavericks.
The Wizards. I like Wizards better.
That'd be good.
I mean, there's the Washington Wizards.
There are, but that's different though.
It does feel different.
Yeah. There's a couple strong mascots, opposing mascots right out the gates for LSU. The Mastodons and the Mavericks.
The Mastodons, like, that just feels like you're trying too hard.
I don't know, man.
Like, what is that rooted in? Like, why? How did Purdue Fort Wayne come up with the Mastodons? Like,
sounded cool.
LSU is the Tigers. It's rooted in Civil War. There was, the unit that were the Fighting Tigers. And so that's how, the old war school adopted its mascot. Cool. It works. Really awesome. How did they get the Mastodons? I mean, that's how, when did Mastodons go extinct?
That's what I'm looking up right now, actually.
I mean, how do you stumble?
10,000 years ago.
Okay, so they've been extinct for 10,000 years. Like, I mean, I guess you got like the Toronto Raptors. I mean, why is the Toronto team named after a dinosaur? I don't know. It's kind of cool, though. That might have coincided with Jurassic Park. Could have. Probably about the same time when Raptors were kind of badass and everybody was terrified of them. Anything there about the Mastodons?
I'm trying to figure out like where they lived in North America, but it just says all across North America from Alaska to central
you're
Mexico.
Doing it wrong. You need to search why is Purdue Fort Wayne's mascot.
Okay, we can do that.
It's like that's what.
You got a computer over there too.
Yeah, I'm also hosting a show. Me just Googling live on the air isn't exactly great radio. I tell you what, Muse. I feel like if I didn't tell you to wipe, you'd walk around with poop on your boot.
Not true.
I feel like I had to tell you that. Mastodons. Oh, so here was Jay Johnson.
Because a partial...
Oh, amazing that actually led us to the answer.
Because a partial mastodon skeleton was discovered on a local farm in 1968. Students voted to make the mastodon the school mascot in 1969.
Amazing. If you just Googled what I told you to Google, you'd had that answer. We wouldn't have gone around and around looking at prehistoric times and whatnot.
It didn't take that long.
Trying to guess. In radio time, it did take that long. People are in and out of their cars. They're not necessarily just going to hang around because. But we got there. We got to the answer. With the Google search I told you to do.
Anyway, really cool mascot. I like it.
Stunning that worked. Crazy. Yeah, so Omaha. Omaha! Oh, we got to get that.
We should have. Yep, we'll have that for tomorrow.
Okay, good. Here's Jay on the type of team LSU is going to face with the Mavericks from Omaha coming in.
This is a team historically, didn't land this way last year, but historically has done well once they get into conference play. and has been an NCAA tournament team, which is kind of the type of team like I target playing in the non-conference because there's a lot of RPI benefit for it. Harder to predict now with the landscape, and you don't know, who everybody's scheduling, you know what I mean? And so, which luckily in the SEC, we don't have to worry about that too much. I think 8 of our 10 opponents in the league all swept last weekend, so that usually takes care of itself. But, well coached, very well coached, and have had success. So we want to play well to win the games and improve, as we're going along.
All right. So we will be on air during the game again tomorrow when LSU plays Omaha. Let's go ahead and get that, Muse. Chances are I'm going to do it again sometime in the next 15 minutes. All right, Otter Locks is coming up. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. I am going to react to Ross's thing here in just a second. First, just give me 60 seconds here. First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, do what Ben McDonald did. Ben McDonald, All-American Golden Spikes Award winner, #1 overall pick, the first pick in the draft, made his first call, First South Farm Credit. How you like that? The first LSU baseball player to have his jersey retired. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Because there was, I don't want to mispronounce his name. There was a guy who played baseball at LSU who was I believe the story is he was a state trooper and he was killed in the line of action, so LSU retired his number. And Smith. It was on the outfield wall at the old box, and it was number 19 as well. It was Smith. Maybe you can look that up. Anyway, I got really distracted. If you want to buy land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. So if you missed Ross Dellenger, really good convo. The SEC and Big Ten commissioners and athletic directors all met in New Orleans. They've agreed upon pushing for a seeding change, just a straight seeding instead of the top 4 ranked conference champions. I'm very much in favor of that. I would love to see the SEC and the Big Ten strong-arm the other leagues in every way possible. I don't think they're going to do that because they're going to try to be good partners, but they could say, hey, vote for this or we're just not going to be partnered with you. And I understand they have the memorandum of agreement through 2031 that Ross talked about, so they are going to be joined in a playoff till at least 2031. But the SEC and the Big Ten could make it hellacious for them with starting in 2026. Like, all of those leagues exist now at the pleasure of the SEC and the Big Ten. That's how it works. If the SEC and the Big Ten collectively decided that the rest of college football was going to cease to exist in a meaningful, relevant way, that's how it would be. So it's really about kind of being here like a benevolent monarch. Like, you run it, but do you want to be nice about it? Or do you want to be dictatorial? I'm not really concerned with little brother. I just want to see a real, true, formatted playoff, and there's not a soul walking the face of planet Earth that can look me in the eye and tell me with a straight face they believed that Arizona State and Boise State should have had byes in this college football playoff. Don't care about the close game with Arizona State and Texas. That's irrelevant. You cannot make a sensible argument that those two teams should have had byes in a college football playoff. Fix it. And then as far as the SEC going to 9 league games, we know which teams are the ones in the SEC that aren't for it. They'll vote unanimously because the SEC just mandates. We're all going to publicly, outwardly have a unified front. Like when Texas A&M got out of line when Texas was coming into the league, they got a little uppity. Greg Sankey took him in the back room, whacked that paddle on the behind, and then A&M came out and was like, yeah, we support it, and everybody voted for it. Publicly, the SEC is going to have a unified front. But you know what teams don't want a 9-game schedule. Kentucky, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Missouri. Look at the teams that are fighting every year for bowl eligibility, that those coaches who need to save their jobs aren't pumped about having another SEC team on the schedule and taking away that FCS opponent, which was a guaranteed win. You get me? It ain't hard to see who those teams are that would be against it. But it's the direction we got to go. And it's going to be good for college football. You get better games that fans want to see, a true playoff where you're going to settle things on the field. This is a good thing for college football, like it is a good thing in every other sport in the history of the world. We're heading toward it, finally. Taking baby steps, but getting there. All right. Final break of the show, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Otter Locks is next. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I walked into the parish office earlier today, right there on the big conference room table. 3 big old king cakes. You know which one I went for? Rouse's. You better believe it. Best king cake you'll ever find. That beautiful cinnamony dough, that awesome icing on top and the sprinkles. My goodness. Find your favorite flavor. Now, you know mine. Plain cinnamon. Traditionalist. I believe that if you got filling and all that other stuff in there, it's not really a king cake. It's just a cinnamon roll with filling. Let it stand on its own merit. But anyway, that's just my opinion. If you love filling in your king cake, any type of king cake, they got them all at Rouse's. Dozens of different flavors. So go find your favorite one at any Rouse's today, or you can have that Rouse's king cake shipped. I know a lot of y'all listen or watch online out of state. Go to Rouse's.com, have that Rouse's king cake shipped wherever you are. Bring it into the office for your out-of-staters. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Need service now? Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you same-day appointments for service, and we offer pickup and delivery of your vehicle from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. If you need sales and service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance. Now's the time to get that AC unit checked before it really gets hot. Normally $179, just $79 when you mention Otter Locks. Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Good, Matthew. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. 3-1 for the Otter last night. Was Vandy the late ad? I couldn't remember.
Yes.
Oh man, the one miss last night was the late ad. But man, did we handle up on some business in the first three? Great night last night. So let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, and some rocking chairs too. I mean, some games that were. I think the three games combined covered by about 45 points. So
what was that all?
Good one there. Boy, I don't know if anybody had that Cincinnati West Virginia game. That was crazy. Up at West Virginia laying 3.5, up 9, shooting a 1-and-1 with 14 seconds to go does not cover. So try that one on for side. Cincinnati actually had a 3 at the buzzer to tie to send to overtime. Didn't go, but
we'll
take it.
We'll see that on Bad Beats with
No. The emergency bad beat last night. They had the siren going on in the middle of the yes.
So good.
It's really good.
So good.
Really good. Hey, 2 plays. One already started, and this is where, we suggest, looking on the internet or the website rather to get the picks, but also I'll either strengthen opinion or like last night, SMU went from a favorite to a dog. So we, emphasized that we liked it that much more. They won by 25 at Notre Dame last night, but you kind of missed out on it. It's 10-7 lead for Northwestern, and at 6.5 instead of 9.5.
It's 4.5 right now.
It's at 4.5 now.
Yeah, it's 12. It's 12-7. The line's down to 4.5. So is this a spot where you look at Ohio State laying 4.5?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. If you get the Northwestern bet, absolutely. For about 20 to 30% of your original bet, you got a 5-point middle. 4 middles last night, Matt, in college baseball. So the college basketball.
Yeah.
So, really, really good. Absolutely.
Okay.
If you did get it down, there you go. If you didn't, it's too late. It's too late to you got to pass on that game. So we'll go to another game.
Okay.
Only got 2 Power 5 games in college basketball this Thursday night. The other one is Maryland. Maryland is a very good team. They're a team that has a chance to make a splash in a tournament. They've got consistent scoring. They lead the country in games where their entire starting 5 is scored double digits. Not much of a bench, but I'm just wondering about this big number here against Musselman in the USC Trojans. It's up to 12.5. Tell me what you're looking at right now.
11.5.
11.5.
Yep.
11.5. That's a lot of points. A lot of people are overdoing these lines a little bit because of the travel. Of course, going from Los Angeles to the East Coast, but we're gonna go with the Trojans here plus the points.
Okay.
I think it was 12.5 earlier. Now it's at 11.5.
Down to 11.5. I'm still looking at that the end game for Northwestern Ohio State. It's 14-9 right now. Line's 5.5 Ohio State. So probably.
And we got a recommendation on the hockey tonight. If you go out to a local bar, don't bet and cheer for the Canadians. So there's your recommendation for you.
Muse asked if Colucci would have any plays on the game tonight.
He gave out a long drawn out, and he said this is one he's just staying away.
Okay.
Light play on the United States. The tickets are 2-1 as compared. If this doesn't get sort of your patriotic juices going, I mean, they're booing our national anthem. We're going to kill theirs tonight. Oh, Canada's getting smashed. I mean,
love it.
Say what you want. What about it? But I asked my buddy Chris Macero, who gives the picks. I said, "Are they going to boo Canada?" He sent me some old footage of the last time they booed the national anthem and came to Boston. It's going to be a little rough.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. All right.
I mean, NBA, wake up. Look at the hockey. Kind of notice what they're doing. U.S. against the world. NBA All-Star games. The only chance of making it somewhat interesting.
It's so obvious. If they're not going to play hard, then that's your only shot. I mean, if we could roll back the clock 30 years when the guys actually tried, that would be awesome. But sans that, yeah, man.
It's not the Olympics, but man, they cared. The Olympics, did they not?
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, they did. And so you got I mean, there is a little bit of pride as far as this being our game.
1 minute remaining.
And Lord, hey, look, we know the world, they could put up a roster. So, I mean, we tried to do it, top 12 versus top 12. It'd be around an even game if in the NBA as far as U.S. versus the world. Would be fun.
Live at Lunch Friday from Ruffino's. Y'all get by and see the fellas tomorrow. All right, Otter, thank you. Good luck tonight.
Good luck.
All right, we'll see you. Also tomorrow, the final countdown. We giving away 5 G's tomorrow on AFR from Parish Construction and Roofing. All you got to do, register for a free no-obligation roofing inspection. Follow us on social media, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. You enter, someone's going to win $5,000 tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Central. Look forward to it. Muse Pauly, thanks. See you tomorrow 3.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm